The daughter-in-law walks into the dining room with her husband and says to her mother-in-law firmly, "Mom, we need to talk about something important." The mother-in-law asks concernedly, "What's going on? Why do you both look so upset? It seems like something is wrong." The son replies hesitantly, "The truth is, her parents don't have anywhere to live, so my wife and I have decided that they'll move in here with us." The mother says warmly, "Is that all you're worried about? That's not a problem. They can stay here with us until things get better, and then they can go back to their own home." The wife interrupts her husband and says firmly, "Let me finish. What I mean is that you should move back to your old house, and my parents will live here permanently. They won't be leaving." The mother-in-law replies calmly, "What's wrong with all of us living together? Everyone loves their own home. Your parents are welcome to stay here with us. No one is stopping them." The daughter-in-law says sarcastically, "Really? So you're making fun of us now? It sounds like you want to take over this house." The mother turns to her son and asks seriously, "Son, what do you think about all this?" The son answers uneasily, "I think she has a point. You're living here alone, so maybe it would be better if you went back to the village for a while." The wife immediately scolds her husband and says angrily, "For a while? What do you mean by that? We already agreed that your mother would move back to the village and my parents would stay here forever. Why are you changing your mind now?" The mother looks at both of them and says heartbrokenly, "So, you've already made your decision? No matter what, I'm the one who has to leave?" She turns to her daughter-in-law and says sadly, "You're someone's daughter too. If your mother were thrown out of her home, how would you feel?" Then she turns to her son and says emotionally, "I'm your mother. I raised you, educated you, and helped you build your life. Now you're asking me to leave my own home. If I refuse, will you force me out?" The daughter-in-law replies coldly, "Do you really think you're equal to my mother? She's my real mother. She raised me. And who says your son doesn't care about you? He just doesn't want you to overwork yourself. There's plenty of space in the garage. You can stay there." The son nods and says quietly, "Mom, please listen to her. For now, just stay in the garage." The mother says furiously, "Am I less important than her parents? When you got married, I sold our family home and land so you could buy this house. Now, if I leave, where am I supposed to go? I raised you alone after your father passed away. I worked day and night, fed you, cared for you, and sacrificed everything for your future. Have you forgotten all of that? Your wife knows how to honor her parents, but you don't even know how to honor your own mother." The son replies gently, "Mom, please don't be so upset. That's not what we meant. Her parents will probably stay for only a month or two and then they'll leave. If they don't, I'll bring you back home." The wife immediately scolds her husband and says angrily, "A month or two? You just said your mother wasn't coming back and that my parents would live here forever. I'm giving her only 2 days. Either she moves into the garage or she goes back to her village." The son says pleadingly, "Mom, please understand our situation. Would you really want our marriage to end in divorce?" Hearing the word divorce, the mother replies furiously, "So now you're threatening me with divorce? Fine. If you want to stay together, then stay together. If you want a divorce, then get one. If you don't want to raise your child, I'll raise my grandchild myself." She turns to her son and says deeply hurt, "I worked so hard to educate you. I believed that after you got married, you would finally give me some peace. But you've changed. Whatever your wife says, you blindly agree with her. You've actually decided to throw your own mother out of her home." Then she turns to her daughter-in-law and says emotionally, "I always treated you like my own daughter. Is this how you repay me? I served you day and night, and now you're throwing me out of my own home. This is my home too, and I'm not leaving." The daughter-in-law says threateningly, "Fine, then remember this. Today I'll divorce your son and I'll take my child with me. You'll never see your grandson again." She storms out of the house. The mother-in-law calls after her fearlessly, "Go ahead, go wherever you want." The son turns to his mother and says angrily, "Mom, do you see what's happening? If we get divorced, who will be there to take care of you?" With that, he runs after his wife. The mother looks at her son one last time and says firmly, "I don't need a son like you anymore. I never want to see your face again."